Number 28. If you are strong, but remain sensitive, power will flow through you. With that power, you'll always be right with Tao. It's like a whole new life. If you are idealistic, but stay rooted in reality, you are an example to others. Set that example, and you will always be right with Tao. There is no limit to what you can do. If you are honorable, but remain humble, you will see things as they are. If you see things as they are, you'll always be right with Tao. Your life will become simple, yet full of potential. Let Tao show you how to get right with Tao, so your slightest gesture can change the world. Number 29. Want to take over the world? Think again. The world's a holy place. You can't just fuck around with it. Those who try to change it, destroy it. Those who try to possess it, lose it. With Tao, you push forward. Or maybe you stay behind. Sometimes you push yourself, other times you rest. Sometimes you're strong, and sometimes you're weak. Sometimes you're up, and sometimes you're down. A master lives simply, avoiding extravagance and excess. Number 30. Listen up. You want to be a leader who is in touch with Tao. Never use violence to achieve your goals. Every act of violence backfires. An army on the move leaves a trail of tears, and military victory always lies in ruins. The masters do what needs doing, and that's all they do. Do what you have to do, without arrogance or pride. Get the job done, and don't brag about it afterwards. Do what you have to do, not for your own benefit, but because it needs to be done. And don't do it the way you think it should be done. Do it the way it needs to be done. The mighty will always lose their power, and any connection they ever had to Tao. they will not last long. If you are not right with Tao, you might as well be dead. Number 31. Weapons are terrible things. If you want to get right with Tao, reject weapons. The Master, knowing all things came from the Tao, recognizes what he has in common with his enemies and always tries to avoid conflict. But when there is no other choice, he uses force reluctantly. He does so with a great restraint and never celebrates a victory. To do so would be rejoice in killing. A person who would rejoice in killing has completely lost touch with Tao. And when you win a war, you preside over a funeral, pay your respects to the dead. Number 32. Tao is eternal mystery, so small you can never take hold of it. If a leader gets right with Tao, people will follow him on instinct. All will be right with the world. People will do the right thing without being told. Everything that comes from Tao needs a name. But once everything has its name, you should make no other distinction between things. This prevents you from becoming trapped by them. Everything in the universe is full of Tao and leads to Tao, just like the water in the rivers that flows into oceans. Number 33. Knowing things makes you smart, but knowing yourself makes you wise. To rule others, you must be powerful, but to rule yourself, you must be strong. If you have only what you need, you have true wealth. If you never give up, you will find a way. If you stay true to yourself, you'll never be lost. If you stay alive your whole life, you have really lived. Number 34. Tao flows in all directions. It's in everything, but nothing can contain it. Everything needs Tao, so Tao provides and never expects anything in return. Everything comes from Tao, but Tao doesn't call attention to itself. it wants for nothing, think nothing of it. Everything leads to Tao, but Tao doesn't call attention to itself. Pretty impressive, huh? It doesn't strive for success. That's why it succeeds. Number 35. When you get right with the Tao, everybody wants to be your friend. When they are around you, they can relax and enjoy themselves. People can be easily distracted by music or good food. When they try to talk about Tao, it seems boring by comparison. It doesn't look like much. It doesn't sound like much. But no matter how much you use, there's still plenty left. Number 36. To make something smaller, you need to appreciate its size. To make something weaker, you must recognize its strength. To get rid of something, you need to hold it tight. To take something, you must give it up entirely. To put it in another way, sensitivity and weakness overcome unfeeling strength. Number 37. Tao never does anything, but nothing is left undone. If our leaders could get in touch with the Tao, the world would take care of itself. Even if they wanted to impress their own ideas, they'd be drawn back to Tao's nameless simplicity. When our lives are that simple, we want for nothing, we can relax, and the world becomes a better place. Number 38. People with integrity don't even think about it. That's how you can tell they have integrity. Other people talk about it, how much integrity they have, when they really don't have much, if any. Truly powerful people don't do anything, but they get the job done. Other people are always busy doing something, but nothing ever gets done. When kind people act, they do so without thinking about it. When they just act, they're always sure they're doing the right thing. But when the righteous act and nobody reacts, they try to force everyone to do a thing their way. If you are not in touch with Tao, at least you can still have integrity. If you are not in touch with the Tao, at least you can have integrity. If you don't have integrity, there's always kindness. And if you don't have kindness, there's always justice. If you don't have justice, all you have left is righteousness. Righteousness is a pale imitation of true faith and loyalty and always leads to trouble. If you have already made up your mind, you don't know the first thing about Tao, and you never will. The masters pay attention to what's beneath the surface. They will look at the tree's leaves, but eat the fruit. They turn all that down so they can accept this. Since the time began, this is what it's meant to be in touch with Tao. Tao made the heavens clear. Tao made the earth solid. Tao made our spirits strong. Tao made the valleys fertile. Tao gave all living things life. Tao gave rules authority. Without Tao, the heavens would collapse. Without Tao, the earth would crumble. Without Tao, the spirits would fade away. Without Tao, the valleys would dry up. Without Tao, all life would be extinct. Without Tao, rulers would stumble and fall. Humility gives us power. Our leaders should think of themselves as insignificant, powerless, unworthy of their stature. Isn't that what humility is all about? Be strong. Pay no attention to hollow praise. Don't call attention to yourself. Don't make a scene. Number 40. Tao is always heading back to where he came from. Tao advances by not pressing forward. Things exist because they are. They are because they once were not. Number 41. When a wise person hears about Tao, he gets right with it. When an ordinary person hears about Tao, he tries to get right with it. But eventually gives up. When a fool hears about Tao, he just laughs and laughs. If he didn't love, it wouldn't be Tao. Here is what they find so funny. The path to enlightenment seems covered in shadows. The way forward feels like taking a step back. The easiest path seems difficult. Those with most virtue seem debased. Those who are most pure seem to be grubby and soiled. The deepest thoughts appear shallow. The greatest strength looks like weakness. What is most real strikes us as imaginary. The larger space has no boundaries. The greatest talent seems to produce nothing. The greatest voice is unhearable. The greatest beauty is invisible. Tao is hidden to us, and it has no name. It is the source and the strength of all things. Number 42. Chapter 42 starts out with some cosmic mumbo-jumbo about Tao making one making two, and two making three, and three making everything else. I don't know what that means, and frankly, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Let's get to the practical part. Men hate to be called powerless, insignificant, or unworthy. But that's how masters describe themselves. Because when we lose, we have won. And when we succeeded, we have failed. Other people will tell you what I'm telling you now. Live by the sword, and die by the sword. That's pretty much what the chapter, or this poem 42, boils down to. Also suggest to see chapter 46 for more details. Number 43. The softest force in the universe can overcome the hardest of objects. Something without substance can pass through the space between atoms. That's how I know about the power of doing nothing. The silent teachings and the power of doing nothing can only be understood by a few people. And number 44. What's more important, fame or your well-being? What's worth more, your money or your life? What is more dangerous, winning or losing? If you are too attached to your possessions, they'll bring you misery. If you hang onto your riches, you'll suffer substantial loss. If you know when you have enough, you will never be disgraced. If you practice moderation, you can stay out of trouble, and that is the secret to lasting success. Number 45. The greatest achievements may look like mistakes, but you will always be able to build upon them. The fullest reserves may seem empty, but you will always be able to draw upon them. The straightest line looks crooked. The most skilled people come off as clumsy. The most eloquent people are usually silent. When it's cold, you can move around to stay warm. When it's hot, you should keep still and stay cool. But whatever the weather, if you stay calm, the world will sort itself out around you. Number 46. When the world is right with Tao, Lao Tzu said, horses haul fertilizer to the fields. When the world loses touch with Tao, horses are trained for cavalry. Nothing is more insidious than possession. Nothing is more dangerous than desire. Nothing is more disastrous than greed. If you know when enough is enough, you will always have enough. Number 47. You don't have to leave your room to understand what's happening in the world. You don't have to look out of the window to appreciate the beauty of heaven. The further you wander, the less you know. The masters don't wander around. They know. They don't look. They understand. They don't do anything, but the work gets done. Number 48. Usually we try to learn something new every day. But if you want to get right with Tao, you have to let go of something every day. We do less and less until we end up doing nothing. And it's when we do nothing that we get the job done. Let events take their course, and everything will turn out in your favor. If you act on your ambitions, they will never pan out. Number 49. The masters don't make up their minds. They turn their thoughts to other people. They are good to good people, and they are good to bad people. This is real goodness. They have faith in the faithful, and they have faith in the unfaithful. This is real faith. A master throws himself into the world completely, forgetting everything he's been told. People pay attention to him because he lives a life of childlike wonder. Number 50. People who look for the secret of long life wind up dead. Their bodies are the focus of their lives and the source of their death, because they think a healthy body is all there is to life. Lao Tzu used to say, a man who truly understood life could walk through the jungle without fear, across the battlefield without armor, totally unarmed. Wild animals and weapons couldn't kill him. I know. What the hell does that mean? Well, we couldn't be killed, Lao Tzu said, because his body wasn't where he kept his death. Number 51. Tao is the source of all living things, and they are nourished by the Tao's power. They are influenced by the other living things around them, and they are shaped by their circumstances. Everything respects Tao and honors its power. It's just the way it is. Tao gives light to all things, and its power watches out for them, cares for them, helps them grow, protects them and comforts them. Create something without holding on to it. Do the work without expecting credit for it. Lead people without giving them orders. That's the secret of the power of Tao. Number 52. Everything starts with Tao, the mother of all things. If you know the mother, you know the children. If you know the children and remember the mother, you have nothing to fear in your life. Shut your mouth and keep still, and your life will be full of happiness. If you talk all the time, always doing something, your life will be hopeless. It takes insight to see subtlety. It takes strength to yield gently to force. Use that strength to hang on to your insight, and you will always be at peace. That's how you get right with Tao. Number 53. If I had any sense, I'd be trying to get right with Tao, and the only thing I'd worry about would be messing up. It's not that hard to get right with Tao, but people are easily distracted. When the king's palace is full of treasure, Lao Tzu said, ordinary people's fields are smothered with weeds and the food supplies run out. Today, you see sharply dressed people carrying fleshy weapons and living the high life. They own more than they could ever use, let alone need. They are nothing but gangsters and crooks. That's not what the Tao is about. Number 54. Tao's power is so deeply entrenched, it can never be uprooted. Tao's power clings so tightly, it can never slip away. It will endure for generations. If you get in touch with the power of Tao, it will become real. If your family gets in touch with the power of Tao, the power will flourish. If your community gets in touch with the power of Tao, the power will grow even stronger. If your country gets in touch with the power of Tao, the power will become abundant. If the world gets in touch with the power of Tao, the power will be everywhere. How can I know this? I just do.